how to learn Arabic. So don't bring the logical fallacy appealing to your authority.
No,
I'm asking you.
Your authority.
Your authority.
Your authority is the
Your
Quran.
authority is the Quran. In the Quran it says that, Mansur. Come on now.
The Quran doesn't say that. Where does it say that?
Are you praying ignorant in front of your brothers?
He's playing ignorant.
I'm telling you, in Surah Al-Tariq, it doesn't say that.
So you knew. Okay.
Substantiated.
Okay.
So now, as you're looking for it, let me ask you again.
Nothing.
What is rationality?
Now answer that question first.
Answer the question.
Is it rational for
Open it up.
God to claim
What is
that the
rationality?
sperm comes from the backbone and the rib?
Are you see?
You gotta have a standard for rationality.
That's a simple
Firstly,
question.
You have a standard for rationality.
Rationality is not
That's a simple question.
some
Mansur.
people's opinions. It is understood collectively by people what rationality
Does
is.
sperm come from the
So-
chest, yes or no?
Firstly,
According to your
you're making a statement from your ignorance. So
no,
there's no
the Quran
point talking
says
about
that,
something
Mansur.
which you're ignorant about.
So the Quran's ignorant.
Show it then.
So, brother, one second. So now, out of these religions, you said Christianity makes rational sense, right? So let me ask you a simple
No,
question
you
about
haven't
this.
answered our first question, my friend. We're not here to jump over your hoops.
Look,
We're not
I
here to ask
asked
you a
you-
question.
I
We
asked you a
ask you a
question.
simple question. Is it rational for God to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the rib? That's the first question. You answer that, and then we answer you.
firstly,
Answer that first.
Answer it.
if you have listened to my answer the first time,
What answer?
the Quran doesn't say that. It says,
Rational answer.
listen, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ
Say it in
خُلِقَ
English.
من دافق
speak Arabic.
يخرج من بين الصلب
Speak it in English.
I don't speak Arabic.
Speak it in
So-
English. English.
My friends, listen. What I have recited are the ayat of the Quran which talks about the very subject that you are claiming in your
You
misunderstanding.
not found it.
All right, Surah 86.
We've actually had
86. Hey, you want Arabic?
Surah Al-Tariq,
Show it to
We've got to Arabic.
which I have just recited in Arabic.
No, we don't believe that because we don't understand Arabic.
Right.
You got it, bro.
So
We don't understand
now,
Arabic.
Got it.
so now,
Show it to him. Show it to him. Another one.
Sing it.
yeah, tell me what it
Sing
says.
it. No, you sing.
No, you establish your claim.
Emerging, he was created from a fluid ejected emerging from the backbone, between the backbone and the ribs. Is this a logical thing for God to say? Oh, sorry, rational thing for God to say.
Slow down.
Rational. Is that rational or not?
Wait
If
a
it is rational, explain to us why.
Slow down.
Understand Arabic.
Don't go. Here.
It's an Islamic website.
Yeah, he prayed through and ejected from the back.
Okay. Are you listening?
Because this is, listen, this is,
Quran makes here two statements.
I understand this.
Let man think from which he is created from.
No,
Yeah?
of course not. No.
Statement number one. Is created from
Are you judging
a
according to
gushing,
the person who's
self-emitting
translating?
fluid.
If I tell you story
Right.
in French,
Let's pause there before we go to the next statement.
Took the time
if
to
I tell you,
translate.
What is that fluid?
we can get to that
You
later.
will say that's wrong.
I'll get to
You
this
need to tell me your
later.
qualifications.
I'll get
It
to
says
this
min
later.
ma'in dafiq. It doesn't refer to sperm.
He's saying this new mom is some word, it doesn't refer to sperm. What? Even though the Quran's saying it doesn't refer to
Mansur.
Ma'in dafiq means a gushing, self-emitting fluid which
So
is...
what gushing fluid is coming out of your backbone?
Listen. Listen carefully, my friend, and you will understand and learn, right? You will have a proper education today, God willing, if you were to learn.
Oh, Mansur.
Yeah, this is not an education for someone who wants to learn.
So,
Yes,
this
I told you.
gushing fluid
Yeah.
is something that is called ma'in dafiq. It has in the grammatical construct of the one who is doing it himself. The fluid and the contents is propelled by itself. So the sperm within the fluid, we know, is self-propelling.
That's the most illogical crap I've ever heard.
Yes.
Are you not hearing this one? You're saying that sperm
Women
propels out
have
of the
sperm.
backbone. Do you not know how
Women
sperm
don't have
is
sperm,
Where
my
does it say
friend.
backbone? Wait.
Women don't
Where
have
does it say
sperm.
backbone?
It says backbone and
Backbone, the
backbone.
reason
Hang on,
don't read it.
The first statement. Excuse me, brother.
It says backbone in the translation.
first-
I don't want to read just.
Listen.
It says backbone.
Mansur,
First-
stop dancing.
The first statement I said there's two statements to look into it. The first statement talks about the gushing, self-emitting fluid.
What's that?
You haven't even explained what
I'm
it is.
explaining.
Okay, explain. What's that fluid?
I
What's it
am
called?
explaining.
In scientific words.
I am explaining, right? The reproductive fluid, right? Which is constituted with the secretions of prostate gland, Cooper's glands, seminal vesicles. Is it all science?
Are these in the backbone?
Hey, listen, listen.
Are these glands in the backbone?
The first statement has nothing to do with backbone.
Yes, it says that. It says that. It
says
says
that,
that in the Quran.
You're just
86:7.
so
It
much
says
that you want to
it emits from the backbone and the rib. So essentially, Allah claims that women have sperm that emits from the ribs. Deal with that.
Saka, listen.
Deal with it.
All of the scholars say from the backbone.
Yeah, they all say
the
Rizali
ribs.
says the
Alright,
backbone.
which scholar you want? Which scholar?
History from the loins artery. Shakir says coming from the ribs. Sarwar says
Which comes out of the loins and ribs.
Sorry, and Khalifa
Are you
says
not able to have a conversation?
So all your translators,
Stop shaking and listen.
all your translators are saying that it comes from the backbone. So how are you going to tell me that sperm comes from the
Listen,
backbone?
and understand.
No, how is that not
There are
irrational?
two.
I know, how is that not?
I haven't
Why is
even
not
gone to my
irrational?
second
Work on
statement.
the rationality of
You say about rational, yeah.
Try to understand that I made one statement, right? I just read one statement. First statement is to do with the gushing fluid and its characteristics. The second statement says where it comes from, and that's what you are dealing with. But I want to deal with the first statement first.
Is that rational, first of all, before you move?
First statement.
Is that rational, yes or no, before we move on to your next point and
If
stuff?
you were to listen, you will learn that
No, I'm not learning nothing from you, my friend. All you're doing is be
not
that.
only the
All
first
you're doing is
statement.
be that, innovation. Like this means this means that. Your scholars disagree with you. It says, Yusuf Ali, proceeding between the backbone and the ribs, right? Pick 4, that issue from between the loins and the ribs.
Tell me when you finish.
It just goes. So, my question is, do you think it's rational for God to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the ribs?
Okay.
Yes or no? If it's yes, please explain to us why.
Now, I am answering, right? Without, I expect you to listen to my answer, right? I am saying the crucial verses are 2 verses, right? I gave you verse number 1, and there's a verse number 2 that will come. The verse number 2 that is what you're dealing with. But I need to start with the verse number 1, which is about the very characteristics of the reproductive fluid. It is saying, why do you jump to the second verse, leaving the first one? And also, listen.
This is what I call tap dance.
It's dancing. Stop dancing. Stop dancing.
If you were with any comprehension skills, you would realize,
You know how
Get to the point where you explain why your God thinks that the testy fluid comes out of the backbone.
Okay,
Get to that point.
firstly, allow me to
rational.
go to
Why
the
is that
second point.
rational?
How does sperm come from the backbone, bro?
Yeah.
Kunti or Quran. Let's get to that.
Are you going to just keep on repeating the
How
question?
is that
I'm ready
rational?
to answer.
How is
Right.
that rational, please?
Listen. Now, so the first point, you know they're sincere. We're going to expose them just here.
This is the answer.
Brother, please.
None of them are insane.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
I'm just saying.
No, don't say anything. Jazak Allah Khair. Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Allah is with thee. Patient. Be patient. Now, okay. So I said, out of these 2 statements, the first statement says something astonishing scientifically, which is, it talks about within this fluid, this fluid is self-emitting. If it was the normal Arabic construct, hear me out first, it would have said madfuk, but it doesn't say madfuk, it says dafiq. That's why it is something that the scientists are baffled. How did someone 1400 years know that this is self-propelled?
The 5th century, bro.
Now I move. Now I go.
I want to hear about the backbone and the rib. I want to hear about how the sperm comes from the backbone and the rib.
How does the sperm come out of the
How is
backbone?
that rational? First of all?
Listen.
How is that
Now
rational?
I
Because that's the main
move to
thrust.
the second verse. Second verse says, يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. Proceeding from, listen, Try to understand. Proceeding from in between the collarbone and
What's he got to answer for you?
Collarbone, he said loins and ribs, loins, breastbones, back and ribs.
Every
Bro,
translation
all your scholars are calling you a liar, bro.
I thought you had the decency to let people speak and explain themselves. Listen.
Yeah, you are doing
I
bid'ah.
have read more than 40 translations on this.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Are you ready, son?
Thank you very much. Now listen then. The word tara'ib in Arabic, if you want to know the meaning, where would you go to find the meaning of an Arabic word?
Arabic dictionary.
In an Arabic dictionary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you were
And these
to
scholars
consult...
are Arabic speakers. Thank you.
Listen,
Yeah, we'll be
You show yourself in the foot. These are Arabic speakers.
listen,
Arabic scholars, Arabic speakers. So you show yourself in the foot, Mansur.
Lako,
Why?
let me finish. Lako, let me finish.
Answer the question.
I am.
Okay,
So
how is
now,
that rational?
if you were
For the
to
sperm to come
consult...
from the ribs.
Literal Arabic scholars, by the way.
Listen.
Arabic scholars.
Arabic scholars.
Believe me, so much.
If you were to consult the Arabic dictionaries, which are authoritative and acceptable by all, like قاموس المحيط, الصحة, مختار الصحة, كتاب العين, لسان العرب, تاج العروس. Are you listening?
Backbone and ribs, get
I am-
backbone and ribs. How is that rational? Answer that to me. How is that rational for God to
Let me
claim that the
continue
sperm comes from the
and
backbone and the
expose
rib?
you of your
You said
ignorance.
Christianity it doesn't make any rational sense. My question to you is the
I am-
following.
He was
Again,
explaining to you. Just
how
listen.
is rational for God Almighty to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the rib? Explain to us why it's
We don't want
rational.
your tafsirs, bro. We want what the Quran says.
the Quran says.
The tafsirs are useless. The tafsirs do not work. We want what the Quran says, bro.
So listen now.
Last chance.
You can go away, but I'm speaking to him.
Last chance.
I am asking you a simple question now. The verb which says proceeding from, what does it refer to? Does it refer to the sperm or the gushing fluid?
That creates
Or,
the fluids that creates life. Creates life.
I haven't finished.
No. Because
I haven't finished my question.
the fluid you're
I
talking
have
about,
not finished
are
my
you trying
question.
to make a distinction between sperm and saying water or all the fluids
not finished
that
my
are put together? We're talking about sperm, the fluid that creates life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that fluid, that particular fluid, which is sperm, comes from the backbone and the rib. We are asking, how does that make rational? How is that rational? Explain to us. How is that rational?
Did he not ask, how does the sperm coming from the breast and the backbone rational?
Yes.
So did I understand your question?
Please answer.
No, did I understand your question?
How is that rational for God to claim that the sperm? No, I wanna answer you again. I ask you again, and then I'll give you the floor to explain it. Yes.
Listen,
How is that rational for God to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the rib, please? How is that rational?
That was irrational.
Marco,
You got your
have I understood your question? Speak. Have I understood your question?
You have to repeat again. You have to repeat again.
I want you to answer. Have I understood your question?
Your brothers are watching. You're waiting for the answer, bro.
Yeah, they are.
Not me, bro.
Because I want
I
you
don't
to
believe you,
listen
bro.
for the answer. So I'm repeating once more. Have I understood your question?
Have you understood my question? I don't think so because I have to repeat about 5 times.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yes.
You are asking me how is it rational for God to say that the sperm comes from the breast and the backbone?
Back on the rib. Yes, that's my question. How is
Yeah?
that rational, please? Explain to
So
us.
have
please.
I understood your question?
Yeah. Explain to us.
Thank
please.
you very much. So
Don't-
now,
don't take too long.
don't repeat the question again because I've already
If I have to,
understood
I
your
will.
question.
If
No,
I have to, I will.
Don't be a child.
I'm not your Dimi. I can
No,
do whatever I
don't
want.
be a child.
These no
No,
Sharia code
no.
now. These no
So
Sharia
now,
code now.
am I? So now, when it says proceeding from in between the backbone and the ribs, my question to you is. Does this refer to the gushing fluid, or does it refer to the human being mentioned a verse earlier.
What is that?
In Arabic, refer to the gushing fluid or a
Here.
being that's mentioned in a verse earlier.
To help you understand what I'm saying, it's your turn to now
So what
comprehend.
human being comes from the backbone?
Listen,
Yeah. What,
look, it says,
what fluid?
Now
what
let-
fluid that creates life? Because
Listen,
the context of that
listen.
particular verse is the fluid that actually creates
I
life.
think you're making additions
Yes.
into your own
Do
body.
we agree with that?
I'm
Do we agree with that first of all?
I'm explaining.
Do we agree with
I am
that? I'm asking
explaining.
you, do we agree with that?
Now, I am saying,
I'm asking you, do we agree with that? That the fluid that the Quran is mentioning is the actual fluid that creates life. Do you agree with that, yes or no?
there is two arguments here in the Quran, not one.
Do you agree with
So this is
you
an
don't agree
education
with
for
that?
you now.
So you don't agree with that?
Where's
In
the
the
education?
Quran,
You haven't even showed us
nothing.
anything. You proved nothing.
Listen
Nothing.
carefully then. Verse number 1 talks about the characteristics of the gushing fluid and what it does. Yes, it creates human beings. Correct. Verse following talks about another argument.
That emanates from.
Now,
Correct?
if you allow me to
No, we have a
explain,
conversation.
no, I'm explaining. You listen, because I've understood your question.
Where does that
Now,
come from?
the second statement, I am saying it refers to the human being, not to the gushing fluid.
That wasn't mentioned at all.
Listen,
That wasn't
that's a
mentioned
lie.
at all.
He's lying to
That's
you
a lie
guys.
you're just making.
He's lying to you
You're doing
guys.
tequila again.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says
Now
it's sperm.
listen.
The actual sperm comes from
Once
the back on the
we
ring.
listen,
Allah said
once
sperm.
we finish this, we are going to return to the question of rationality of your belief over all other religions and
Well, your
non-religions.
belief has already been proven to be
Listen.
rational.
No, now hear me out. Now, verses later, it says, إِنَّهُ عَلَى رَجْعِهِ لَقَادِرٌ. God surely is able to bring him back
So it's the same
to, excuse me, brothers, to life. Jazak Allah Khair. Be patient. One verse, one person, one voice, right? Just let me be your representative. I know what I'm doing. I've debunked those people a long time ago. You can do it
You've been
again.
destroyed already.
Now here,
Fear for a year, bro.
now here, it says he will bring back again. God is able to bring him back to life, right?
Move to a different verse.
This,
move to a different
now
verse,
listen, this,
the verse, bro.
these verses
86,
has nouns and pronouns and a verb with a hidden noun. When I said,
You don't know.
so we have. Oh, okay. So it's not clear. So the Quran is not clear.
It's not clear. It's
So
not
the
clear.
Quran is not clear. Oh, okay.
now,
So the Quran is not clear, even though Allah says it's
the
clear
word
and
says
comprehensive.
yakhruju, do you know what it is?
Sorry? What is that?
It's something about what Hutu, bro.
What's wrong with you? You don't speak Arabic.
Bro, do I speak Arabic?
don't speak
So I'm going to
Arabic,
give you some lesson now for you to understand, because you're dealing with the Arabic Quran, not the translation.
Bro, the translation are all
sorry,
from
sorry.
Arabic
Ah,
people.
sorry,
So I'm just throwing them in the bus and saying, oh,
listen.
really, to 100.
So now what we have here,
Get to the question. You're dancing.
Stop
yakhruju
dancing.
is a
Stop
verb.
dancing. Stop
Yakhruju
dancing.
is a verb which says proceeding from. But within this verb, it has what we call damir mustatir. It means there is a pronoun already embedded within this verse. Like when I say
A
someone,
hidden pronoun, you say.
It's a
I'm
hidden.
going to give you some grammar lessons now, right?
Actually, hidden pronoun.
Free of charge.
So Allah hides things in the Quran.
No,
And he
this
sends
is
people like him to
language.
explain the
In
verses.
language.
So Allah sends people like him to explain the verses.
In language, when you say the door is open,
Yeah, he needs to explain the
Prophet,
verses
he's a
to me
prophet,
because
he's a
Allah can't explain it to me. When
Ah,
I
okay.
read the book, I can't work it out. You need to
Ah,
explain it to me.
okay. No, fair enough. fair
when
enough.
we say the door is opened, within that verb opened,
Let's go to
is there someone opening?
Stick to the verse.
Stick to the verse,
86:7.
bro.
I have to
Verse.
teach you.
How does that make rational sense, Mansur? How does your God say claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the
Because of
rib?
your
How does
lack
that make
of
rational
language,
sense? Answer
linguistic
that.
skills and
That's not one
comprehension.
It's about your God.
you're
You
having
can't
this-
comprehend anything probably. Because
So
he
now,
needs you to explain it.
I am
He needs
telling
you to
you-
explain his own words. It's kind
Yeah.
of stupid, isn't it?
No, it's for you
This is parrot, isn't it?
to listen. I am saying the verb here refers to the man. The man. It is not referring to the gushing fluid. If you were to ask any Christian Arab, they will say, yakhruju can, this verb, refer to a noun that is mentioned immediately or even a little bit before that. Go and bring your Christian experts who know Arabic
I need the cocaine.
and get some education from them.
Well, they would disagree. Like Christian Prince agrees that the sperm literally comes from the backbone. That's what your God says. And you still haven't explained that.
Christian Prince the liar.
If you believe it's a lie, it doesn't matter. He's
No, no, no.
Arabic.
He's Arabic.
I'm not Arabic. He's Arabic.
Do you
speaks
think
Arabic, he speaks
do you
Arabic.
think he's a liar?
Do I think it's no? I wouldn't think it's a lie at all.
Have you seen the 101 lies or more lies about his lies on the internet? On Farid,
Is that a Muslim? Is that a Muslim YouTuber?
listen,
No,
Farid,
a minute. Is it a Muslim YouTuber who said that? Is it a Muslim YouTuber
and
who put that
what
response?
if it was a Muslim YouTube? What does it mean? Muslims
No,
are
no, no.
dishonest?
What it means is that YouTuber has a bias to protect his Quran.
And if it was a Christian
he'll
YouTuber,
do it
it's not going to have bias.
by any means, like make up good information, like your hadith said.
Why don't you go and listen to what this channel has exposed these lies of Christian Prince? Be a man enough to listen to
Bro,
it.
why don't you
So now-
watch David Wood? Watch David Wood, watch Sam Shamoon. They both exposed Islam 1,000 times. Bro.
Oh yes, you wish, you wish. Now, again here.
Okay.
So here,
Okay,
these verses
let me finish it off now.
talk about
Let me finish it off
the
now.
human being, they are emanating, look, the human, during birth. Do you know where the baby comes out from? In between the ribs and the backbone. This is where baby
Doesn't
comes
say
from.
anything about a baby.
Okay.
It talks about let man think where it's coming from. Man. It refers to
Let
man.
JC respond
Okay.
anyway.
One last point, and then I'll let you have the room.
So basically, before I move on to you, as you have realized, grammatically, contextually, I have given you an explanation and some free Arabic lessons to you, demonstrating that the Quran here not only has no scientific errors, not only has any irrational statement in there, but it's actually pretty amazing when it talks about the self-propelling nature of this fluid.
Thank you, Mansur. Now let me come back. Does anybody know who Ibn Abbas is?
Look, this is the Arabic
Do you know who
translation.
Ibn Abbas? Ibn Abbas. Who was Ibn Abbas? For your brothers who doesn't know.
Carry on.
Who was Ibn Abbas? You don't know
Carry on.
Ibn Abbas was considered one of the greatest scholars. If I'm not mistaken, he's the first cousin of the Prophet Muhammad. The first cousin of Prophet Muhammad, yes? Thank you. This is what he says about Surah 86:7. He says this, that issued from between the loins of a man, the sperm, and ribs of a woman. So Surah 86:7 is referring to that women have sperm that emanates from the ribs.
Yep.
That's his commentary.
Game over.
Game over. Finito. You're going against Ibn Abbas, the greatest scholar that your Prophet Muhammad considered the
tell you,
greatest
let me
scholar.
tell you something.
So, wait. No, let me finish.
Right, you're wrong.
So,
You're wrong. The tafsir is right. You can't be explaining tafsir.
based on
Really?
this, okay,
Really?
Mansur,
Yeah, you're wrong, bro. The tafsir is right,
I
bro.
will tell you.
Mansur,
You've got
Absolutely wrong.
sperm in the backbone, bro.
So here's my question. Based on what I read, that the gushing fluid comes from the ribs of the woman, according to Ibn Abbas, how is that not irrational?
How was tell you something?
Even a boss,
Yes,
we are
Ibn
not
Abbas.
pleased with it.
I'm listening.
Any other scholars, they can have opinions
Oh,
themselves.
they could just have an opinion.
Alright? Listen carefully. This is not what the Prophet said. This is not what the Quran said. Brother, one second.
Quran says it comes
The
from the back of the
Quran
ribs.
said, and I have
I
contextually.
have the Arabic. I have the Arabic book.
Subhanallah, brothers. Excuse me, brother, please. I have shown you
How many days?
linguistically.
40 days. Ah, yeah, the baby stays 40
Contextually,
days as well,
are
yeah.
you listening now?
Yeah, go on.
I have shown you contextually, linguistically, the Quran does not say what you claim to say. There may be commentators, there may be scholars mentioning this, but this is not what the Quran says. Because people can
Bro,
look,
we've shown you that translators have literally all your translators agree that it's the backbone. We've
the
showed you
ribs.
that it's seminal fluid.
All
Now
the
you're
scholars.
going to have to show us where your interpretation comes from.
Yes,
Because it doesn't come
please.
from the
Yes,
Quran
please.
and it doesn't come
We'll
from
show you
tafsir.
evidence. Show us evidence.
if you
Back
are
of evidence.
listening at all,
We've been listening for the past
I
20
have
minutes.
said contextually and linguistically. If you don't know what this means, let me tell you what this means. From the language itself and from the context itself, it refers to a human being, the man that is referred to in the first verse, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ. It talks about man, which I have just shown you here. Yep. So what does it
He's
come from?
made. Man is made.
you
Yeah,
finished?
don't forget about that.
So
Man is made.
where is the man created from?
Gushing
I
fluid.
said two statements. Man is created from a gushing fluid, statement number one. Statement number 2, man emerges from between the backbone and the ribs.
Doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that. It says
does not say
the
that.
seminal
Okay.
fluid comes from the background.
It means from the
Read the
backbone.
Arabic.